Welcome to Run the Length, an accelerated gameplay commentary series. This episode marks a bit of a reboot for the series, so if you liked any of the changes we made, let me know in the comments down below so that I can keep them around. Special thanks goes out to our patrons who paid for the table and the terrain in this episode. If you want to become a patron, you can head right here and get the cool bleed tokens we put out this month. Without further ado, let's get into the match.
Hey, I'm playing Avengers with Thor, Captain America, Venom, and Black Panther. No, you'll note I did not list my leader first.
So today I'm going to be playing Guardians of the Galaxy, my favorite affiliation. I'm going to be running Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket, Drax, Nebula, and Ronan. And I'm specifically bringing Nebula as my trusty Venom slaying piece. If it's not clear yet, I'm horrified of Venom. I think he's one of the most annoying pieces. I have a lot of trouble removing him, even though I have a lot of tools to do it anytime I play against him. He's the piece I'm definitely scared of the most on this board.
Pat deploys Venom. Zach deploys Rocket. Pat deploys Captain America on the car. Zach deploys Groot. Pat deploys Thor. Zach deploys Drax. Pat deploys Black Panther. Zach deploys Ronan, Star-Lord, and Nebula.
So I won the priority roll, which when you're playing Spider-Infected, at least to me, kind of means you want to take advantage of that to try and grab the center Spider-Infected. So I tried to set up Captain America for that because he is somewhat durable and, I don't know, not fast enough to get to the other side. And then I, put Thor off on his own because he's the only one that makes 2 power, so he can handle both flipping the objective and grabbing a Spider-Infected. And then the other 2, I don't know, just try to contest that half of the board.
What was really interesting about Pat's deployment is he just threw Venom out there first. His first model he set down. Normally, players are a little more cagey with Venom. They know that energy defense is very weak, and so they'll try and kind of force me to put down more models. And then I have to kind of start committing with models like Nebula and Rocket and things like that. And then they can maybe, if they have the models in place, they can put down Venom in a safer spot. So Pat just threw Venom out on the board, and I was like, oh, this is a gold mine. Like, hell yeah.
We move on to the power phase. Pat activates Captain America, advances twice to the center Spider-Infected, and picks it up. Zach activates Star-Lord, advances up, picks up the Spider-Infected, and shoots Cap. Cap blocks it all. Pat activates Thor, who walks up, picks up a Spider-Infected, then flips the Madman. Thor walks again to take cover behind the car. Zach activates Ronan, walks twice, and flips the trap. Pat passes. Zach activates Drax, who walks up and grabs the Spider-Infected, then advances up again. Pat activates Panther, walks up, flips the trap, and then he does nothing else with his other action. Zach activates Groot, walks up and flips the trap. He walks up again. Pat passes. Zach activates Nebula, who walks up and shoots Cap. Cap blocks it all. Nebula gets a power. Venom walks up, then walks up again. He spends a power to pick up the spider. Zach activates Rocket, walks up and shoots Venom.
Die. Oh, God, I didn't roll any hits.
But the attack misses. This ends the turn. Zach and Pat each score 2 off the traps. Pat scores 3 off the spiders, and Zach scores 2 off the spiders. Score is now 4-5. During the cleanup phase, we need to resolve the effects from Mutant Madman. Each trap deals 1 damage to an enemy model within range 2, but there are no enemy models in range of enemy traps, so we move on to the power phase. In the power phase, our other crisis card, Spider-Infected, has effects to resolve. Each model carrying a Spider-Infected must roll a die. On hit, crit, or wild, the opponent gets to move that model short. We start with Pat's models since he has priority. Cap doesn't move. Thor doesn't move. Venom moves. Zach moves Venom within 3 of Nebula. We move on to Zach's models that are holding Spider-Infected. Star-Lord doesn't move. Drax moves.
Drax is the double knives fellow?
Is he the double knives fellow?
Yeah.
He's a green alien, and you choose to identify him by the 2 weapons he's holding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both green, okay?
That's fair.
Pat moves Drax away. Hey guys, I'm running Second Wind, a 64-player Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament on October 23rd and 24th. It'll be at Alarmist Brewery in Chicago, Illinois. Tickets are $35 and include Saturday lunch. Sign-up info is on the longshanks.org or on the Facebook event page. Links in the description. Second Wind is brought to you by Green Stuff World and KR Multicase.
All right, you have priority.
I
Do you want to pass?
No, I have some questions though.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me about Nebula.
So Nebula, she was born on a planet in a distant galaxy.
Okay.
Daughter of Thanos.
Would you
Now,
say that
the
she
trouble
has-
is she always wanted to be the favorite daughter, but Thanos liked Gamora more.
Okay.
So they would compete and fight each other. Nebula often lost. And then to punish her, Thanos did all these weird cybernetic enhancements on her. So that's why she was part cyborg.
Okay. Would
Now,
you say-
there is a turning point with the character where she's always trying to be better, and so she's trying to kill Gamora. But then they make friendly at one point, and she actually becomes a good guy. So, a pretty cool character arc. Do you know about Star-Lord?
in a minute.
Okay, sure.
How would you say that story relates to her physical defense?
Pat activates Venom and strikes Nebula, dealing no damage. Venom attacks again, dealing 1 damage. Zack activates Ronan and walks next to Thor. He strikes Thor. He deals 1 damage, then he spends a power to attempt to flip the contested trap. He gets it.
So I think this is a bit of a misplay. I was a little bit afraid if Thor were to come over to my side and start putting attacks into Ronan, that he might get too far ahead on that side. So if I had that secure on my half locked down, putting Ronan onto his half is kind of keeping Thor in place. So at least there, he's not just getting to walk over and then I have to figure out how to flip 2 secures.
Pat passes. Zack activates Star-Lord and shoots Venom with his strike. No damage. Star-Lord attacks again and does 4 damage to Venom. Pat passes. Zack activates Rocket and takes a plasma rifle shot at Venom. He deals 1 damage. Rocket shoots him again, dazing Venom. Venom drops his spider infected.
What is Groot?
So Groot is
4-2.
he's a tree person.
Okay. Well, okay.
He can only say, "I am Groot."
Okay.
All he can say.
Gotcha.
Some characters can understand him.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket, his best friend,
Yep.
can. Can.
Cannot.
No, can.
Oh. Okay.
He's 4'2", 3.
Okay.
7 health. Short
never,
move.
Never gonna kill it.
3 tall.
3 tall.
3 threat.
Ooh, interesting.
Pat activates Thor and attacks Ronan, hits the Wild and throws him into the dumpster, destroying it. Thor's strike does 5 damage, dazing Ronan. The accuser triggers. Ronan judges Thor. He walks back to the point and attacks Thor with Kree Justice, dealing 4 damage. This stuns and staggers Thor.
I like being dazed.
How fast is
Draxman?
Draxy over there?
Jaxie? Double knives guy is a medium move.
Okay.
Thor shakes Stagger and flips the trap.
During Thor's activation, he managed to daze Ronan and got staggered in return, and took a bunch of damage. But so I had to sort of decide whether he was going to spend a second action that turn to clear the stagger, or try and go actually do something that turn. And it sort of felt to me like he didn't have a great option for that second activation, and so it was just better to sort of get the stagger out of the way and be free to deal with Ronan next turn and have both actions.
Zack activates Groot, and Groot walks up. Groot attacks Panther. Panther blocks it all. Groot picks up the spider. Pat activates Panther. He walks up and attacks Rocket, dealing 2 damage. Panther pushes Rocket away. Panther flips the trap. Zack activates Drax. He walks up and attacks Captain America. Cap blocks it all. Pat activates Captain America. He walks twice to the trap and flips it.
I was tempted to move him towards the other side because his bodyguard and stuff, but it was going to be both of his move actions, I think, because he couldn't hit somebody and then walk to bodyguard. It was going to be his whole turn to either get into bodyguard range or to get to the point, and I felt like taking the point when it was uncontested was worth it, I guess, because he was taking a spider with him and Thor had access to a spider. It was like I would be sort of in position to score 4 points every turn from that alone, and as long as the other side didn't completely fall apart.
Zack activates Nebula and shoots Panther for 3 damage. She shoots him again and dazes him. This ends the turn. Pat scores 4 from Madman traps. Pat scores 2 from spiders, and Zack scores 3 from spiders. Score is now 7-11. Pat uses the top left Madman trap to do 1 damage to Star-Lord. In the power phase, we resolve Spider Infected. Pat first, since he has priority. Captain America moves. Zach moves Cap towards Drax. Thor moves. Zach moves Thor toward the other Madman trap. We move on to Zach's spider-infected. Star-Lord doesn't move. Drax doesn't move. Groot moves. Pat moves Groot behind the building. Pat activates Thor, uses for Asgard, discounted by the leadership. He strikes Ronan, throws Ronan into the building, but deals no other damage. Thor strikes him again, KOing Ronan. The Accuser triggers. He attacks Thor with Kree Justice. He dazes Thor. Ronan is removed from the table. Zach discards Crew of the Milano to give Nebula Winging It tokens. She attacks Venom with Shock Sword Assault for no damage, despite using a Winging It token. She does it again and does 3 damage. Venom uses so many snacks, and we are Venom, dealing 3 damage and healing himself for 3. Pat activates Black Panther. He uses Mantle of the Black Panther and strikes Star-Lord. Star-Lord uses Plucky, and Panther deals 1 damage to him. He pushes Star-Lord. Panther pounces towards Rocket and strikes him, dazing Rocket. Zach activates Groot, walks over to the trap, and flips it. Zach chooses not to spend his second action. Pat activates Venom. He strikes Nebula and dazes her. Venom uses Web Snare to pull Drax medium and walks onto the point. He throws Groot into Drax, dealing 1 damage. Drax puts a Vengeance token on Venom. Venom flips the trap. Zach activates Drax, walks up to Venom, and attacks him. He gets extra dice from the Vengeance token. Drax deals 3 damage. Venom uses so many snacks with We Are Venom, and does 1 damage and heals 1. Drax puts the Vengeance token back on Venom. He throws Venom away and fails to flip the trap.
Has anybody failed yet?
No.
I failed.
I mean, you missing that flip is definitely a big deal, and because like 11 to 15 is very different than 12 to 14. I don't know that I appreciated at the time how big of a difference that was.
Pat activates Captain America. He throws his shield at Star-Lord. He then walks onto the Madman trap. Zach activates Star-Lord. Star-Lord walks over to Rocket and uses field dressing on him. Star-Lord uses full auto on Black Panther. Panther uses Vibranium armor to give himself 2 extra dice. The attack does no damage. Star-Lord flips the trap. Zach activates Rocket and uses Hadron Enforcer to shoot Black Panther. Black Panther uses Vibranium armor for another 2 defense dice. Rocket deals 3 damage. Rocket shoots the Hadron again, and Panther bumps up his defense again. The attack deals 1 damage. This ends the turn. Pat scores 3 from Madman. Zach scores 1 from Madman. Pat scores 1 from Spiders. Zach scores 2 from Spiders. Score is now 10 to 15. Pat uses his Madman trap to put 1 damage on Drax. Zach uses his trap to hit Panther. In the power phase, we resolve Spiders. Captain America doesn't move. Star-Lord moves. Pat doesn't move Star-Lord. Groot moves. Pat walks him away from the point. Drax doesn't move. Pat activates Panther. Panther uses Mantle of the Black Panther. He strikes Rocket. He pushes Rocket and deals 1 damage, which dazes Rocket. Panther pounces into Star-Lord. Zach plays Brace for Impact. Pat attacks with Kinetic Burst and boosts it with 2 extra power, dealing 4 damage and dazing Star-Lord. Star-Lord drops his spider, but Panther can't pick up the infected because he spent all his power. Zach activates Groot. He walks twice towards Captain America. Pat activates Venom and web snares Drax. He strikes Drax. He does 3 damage and dazes Drax. Venom picks up Drax's spider. Venom walks up to the Madman trap. Zach activates Nebula and does a Shock Sword Assault into Venom, dealing 4 damage. This KOs Venom. He drops his spider. Nebula does a Shock Sword Assault into Panther, dealing 1 damage and killing Panther. Pat activates Captain America. He strikes Groot and misses. Cap strikes Groot again and misses again. Pat activates Thor. He walks up and picks up the spider infected. This ends the turn. Pat scores 3 from Madman, and Zach scores 1 from Madman. Pat scores 2 from Spiders, and Zach scores 1 from Spiders. Final score, 12 to 19. In this game, I think that Zach made a few small errors. Committing with Ronan on the bottom prevented Drax from backing him up and allowed Thor to single-handedly win the bottom engagement. Second, I think Zach didn't focus on the crisis enough, spending a lot of his resources dealing with Venom, who, while scary, was not holding an objective. Pat, on the other hand, managed to win without playing a single one of his tactics cards, and there were almost certainly good opportunities to do so. But what do you guys think of the game? Tell me in the comments down below.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you know when the new video goes up. I'm Vincent Curkov, and this has been Run the Length.